Hi everyone, Jem here, and it's time for Mike, Aimee, and Nicole to let out their inner misfits, because here inside the pull bag, they're going to talk about Pizzazz, Roxy, Stormer, and Jetta, who have their own comic miniseries. Jem and the Holograms from IDW presents The Misfits, only on the Geekcast Radio Network.
Alright, so this will be 146. Here we go.
Here we go.
Hello!
Oh. Sorry, your pain is just my joy. I need to laugh today.
I love it.
I always knew Whirling Cyclonus hated Rodimus. Anyway. Alright.
We're ready in 5.
Everyone hates Rodimus.
Okay, I swear. This is it. I'm closing my mouth.
Yeah, this would be so much easier if you were sitting right next to me.
Yeah, you just elbowed me in the face. That's all.
Oh, God. Hello and welcome to episode 146 of the Pullbags JEM JAMMIN July. Thank you so much to Samantha Newark for giving us our intros for this spotlight. I am, of course, TFG and Mike. Joining me are my Misfits, Pizzazz. Hello.
Woohoo! we finally got a chance to get an intro in without me interrupting you.
That's the damn truth.
It only took 10 minutes.
only, yeah.
2 hours, 10 minutes. There's no difference. And of course, Roxy is here as well.
I love bagels.
Muffins are better.
Nope, you're wrong. That's
Nope.
okay.
Bagels.
Nope, bagels.
Totally bagels. 2 against
Bagels
1.
Bagels come in all different flavors. English muffins just come in English
Butter.
muffiny.
It's just, yeah, exactly. Buttery.
That's not actually true. Thomas English muffins actually do have multiple flavors. They have
Yeah, a name brand comes in multiple flavors.
Yeah, it's only one kind.
All bagels come in.
All bagels come in different. Yeah, exactly. What she said.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, any of the listeners out there, please weigh in. Let us know which is better, English muffins or bagels.
You do realize I'm playing on the fact that bagels are Jem and the Holograms and English muffins are the Misfits, right? Because English muffins are better, like their songs are better. Come on now.
No, bagels are better.
No. Not at all.
We'll never end
You're
this
wrong.
debate.
No. We for hours. Nicole will never get to work. She'll end up getting fired. Whoops.
I'm probably getting fired here shortly anyways.
That's another time. We are here to talk about
for another thing.
the Jem and the Holograms 5-issue miniseries, Jem and the Holograms, The Misfits, written by Kelly Thompson with art by Jen St. Ange, because I actually tweeted her to ask her how she pronounces her name, because heaven forbid, I butcher anybody's name on this podcast,
Oh,
even
absolutely.
though I do it all the time. So we've got Kelly and Jen on writing and art, M. Victoria Roboto on the colors, letters done by Sean Lee as always, editorial assists done by Chris Carisi, edits by Sarah Gatos, and obviously IDW's publisher is Ted Adams. We get a story, so there are 5 issues here dedicated to all of the members of the Misfits.
Each individual one, like each one gets a an issue focus.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
It's an overarching, idea too. So
it's an overarching story that focuses on each individual member of the band. You really don't have to read these in order, but you should for the overall arcing story, because it does continue where the end of the Stingers arc left off in issue 23. So you really should read it in order. But if you just wanted to hear, about Roxy's story or Jetta's story or whatever, you could read them singly. I think the coolest thing about this series is the Misfits Standard Band Rider. The show is in Minneapolis. See attached list for approved brands. The Pizzazz is the lead singer, obviously. She requires 3 orders of curly fries, hot, with extra ketchup, and 3 ice-cold sodas. Note, if you bring her non-curly fries, she will probably throw them at your head. Wow, Aimee, I didn't realize you were that, serious about your curly fries.
It's about as serious as the bagel talk.
Yeah.
Lord. Stormer.
Yeah, I'd say that she's got me topped on the bagels.
No, that doesn't sound right at all. I don't think you could be a bagel topping, Aimee. That would just be weird. All right.
Why
next
not?
up,
They have everything else. Wah, wah, wah.
Next up is Stormer, songwriter, guitarist, requests 1 large chai latte hot with skim milk, 2 bottles of water, and a spearmint gum. Okay, Stormer's demands are fairly reasonable. Jetta, who is the bass player, requires 2 bacon sandwiches and a case of bottled water. Allergic to bananas, note, will freak out if she sees them in a room. Save yourself. So basically what Jetta is saying is she can't hang around the minions.
Oh, banana.
Roxy is on drums. She requires massive amounts of bagels, like seriously double what you think is appropriate, then double that. Also, 1 large iced mocha frappuccino, 1 box of candy-coated Zips, 1 gallon, 1% milk, and 1 fire extinguisher. Why does she want the fire extinguisher?
You never know when it comes in handy.
You know what? Being a person that's accident prone, it's always handy to have a fire extinguisher around.
Blaze is on guitar as well as vocals, requests 1 large chocolate milkshake, not fast food, 1 jasmine-scented candle, 2 bottles of water. So Blaze's demands are, fairly reasonable.
You'd think that the fire extinguisher would go with Blaze because, it's all in the name, but, yeah.
Clash, not a member of the band, no rider demands honored. Oh, poor Clash. Eric Raymond, manager, requires 1 bottle of extra strength headache medicine and 1 bottle of extra strength and acid, 2 bottles of water, and high-speed Wi-Fi. Yeah, I can definitely relate to Eric on those demands. And I'm probably pretty sure that Roxy's is the most demanding on here.
Why?
Too many bagels.
Well, you got to have your milk. You have to have your milk with bagels.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And I agree with her on the 1% milk. It is the best milk.
The only downside is that curly fries are only sold at certain places. So you can get bagels anywhere and you get milk anywhere. But I don't know. The curly fries.
Curly fries at the grocery store. Nowadays you can.
Yeah.
Maybe not in Phoenix, Arizona, where everybody, has their pinkies up in the air, but, And silence. Wow.
It happens.
Yeah.
After the last 2 years we've had together, really, that's the one. Me insulting Arizona about having their pinkies up in the air is what gets you to be silent. Come on now.
I'm just silently seething. That's all.
So we open up on the beach in it doesn't say Malibu, but I assume it is. I don't know. But anyway, this takes place 2 weeks ago.
Talk about the heat.
Yeah. Pizzazz and Blaze versus Roxy and Jetta for volleyball.
You really should put them in a different team.
Yeah. Those two definitely need to be separated fairly fast. So I love this interaction between them because it really does show, like, when we reviewed the cartoon series, Pizzazz was always and Pizzazz in this series to the comic is a lesser extent of she is always about her, but what I love about this issue and this whole arc is that the character growth for all of these characters, more character than was able to be put into the original cartoon series.
I totally agree.
Pizzazz was always throwing all of them under the bus in the cartoon series.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, she just was.
There wasn't really any room for anybody else but Pizzazz. Everybody else was just supporting characters to her because she was so big. I mean, there were moments where we had a few things, but it wasn't until, the second season that we actually got any background whatsoever for any of the other characters. So, I mean, literally, Pizzazz just became... It was kind of hard, and I say this lovingly because I really did like the show, and I really did like the Misfits, but it was really hard to find any empathy for them until after we found out that, Pizzazz lost her mom at a really young age, and she was spoiled, and, you didn't get that empathy until way far into the show.
Yeah.
Which is not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, I this is something that's kind of true of a lot of 80s shows, is that they give a lot of development to the protagonists, but not so much to the antagonists, because they don't really want you to like them too much.
Yeah.
But that's not necessarily true of the current storylines nowadays.
Well, you look at this comic from issue 1. Yes, Pizzazz and her Misfits have done, the rock star thing, and, they've gotten into trouble and yada, 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 all this and all that. But what Kelly has been able to do writing-wise is craft a story for them that gives you background without making it feel like it's forced. And she's done it throughout the entire series. It's not just a one and done where, okay, this is what this is. That's why I love this Gem comic series, is because it is one series that caters to everything inside of it. It does not miss a beat on any part of the characters at all.
I agree. Absolutely.
I agree.
So we get Blaze smacking the ball over the net and supposedly winning, and
Winning!
Please, no Charlie Sheen in this podcast. Please, no.
Tiger's blood? What?
No. Lion's blood.
What?
Now you just
Mike's
need a bear.
blood? Mike's blood? What,
No.
Wait, I don't think you want to. I don't think you want to spill blood for this show.
I said I already have. Come on now. 2 years? I've spilt more than blood, sweat, and tears over. Hell, I spent 18 and a half hours editing that countdown, that top 30 countdown. Don't even go there.
Oh, let's go there.
Let's not. All right. So, what do you guys think of the opening scene here, up to the point where they ask Stormer about whether the ball was in or out? Aimee, you can go first.
I thought it was brilliant. This is very typical. I think, well, not even very typical. It was just really good to see they fight. But now that I've read through it, and I see them doing this now again, and I know their backgrounds, and I know why they're doing this, and why, because it's just so perfect.
It is, yeah.
I think there's a part in here where, Pizzazz just stand back and go, wow, this is your family, isn't it? They're so awesome.
Yeah.
I just love everything about this comic book series. It's so good.
I do too.
Yeah.
So what are you thinking up to this point with the volleyball scene, Nicole, and then the whole opening of the comic, the first issue here?
It is definitely replacing my number one favorite volleyball scene, which was Top Gun. So, But what? Come on, that's an awesome scene. You can't deny that.
It is a really awesome scene. I agree.
I just love how Stormer's just really into her book, and she's there because she's part of the group, but she is her own character, and I love how non-competitive she is, like the rest of them. So, yeah, yep. I love it.
She's competitive when it's the right thing for her, and volleyball is probably not her thing. I'm like, sure, I'll referee, and she intentionally brought a book. So, yeah,
yep, I like it.
Yeah. So we get Clash telling Pizzazz that Eric's there, and as Pizzazz is walking away, she says, "From now on, when we play, you guys are on separate teams. You're absolute monsters when you're together. Never happened. No way. Nothing can separate us."
I love it. I can just tell you how much I love this art. It's just so fun, and it goes along with the whole scene. Yeah.
It does. Jen St. Ange is doing an amazing job. We're only into the first issue at this point, and her art style only gets better because I don't think she changes her art style per character, but she puts a little. The art style overall over the 5 issues is the same, but because they're character-focused issues, she's able to do little different change. The way I see this first opening issue until we get to the point where it actually focuses on Pizzazz and the backstory, this whole opening scene, Jen is able to set the tone of what the characters are going to look like throughout the entire series. But as the series progresses, she can play with their tones individually to fit their situations for their stories. So we get Eric, and I don't know. I don't know what it is. The panel where Eric says good, he comes in good game, and he goes to the next panel and says, "Oh, because you're the picture of non-competitive," and Pizzazz tells him, compared to their trash fire situation, I'm a saint. I don't know what it is, but Eric here does not look menacing at all. He doesn't look like the class. And I'm not asking Jen to make him look like the 80s version of Eric Raymond from the cartoon series. He doesn't look like a sniveling piece of garbage that we know him to be.
We haven't gotten there yet. This character's still developing.
That's true. Very true. So we get we get him asking her why she does what she's doing about it, and she says because they love it and because it distracts them.
Yep.
And we get the scene with her and him where he says, "You want me to soften it, or do you want to give it to you straight? Since when do I want my hand held, Eric? You guys are done." Yeah. You guys are done. I've been to every label.
Right now. Yeah.
Yep.
Rip off the Band-Aid. I want everything. Spit it out right now.
I take it back. I want you to soften it.
Everything except that. Right?
Yeah. And, so Pizzazz goes on this long tangent.
Wait, we got to mention...
What? Miss Graham?
Miss Graham is there. Yes.
Yep.
Oh, kitty.
I love that kitty.
Yep. So Pizzazz goes on this long, not necessarily a tangent, but she goes on this story mode of how she feels it's her fault, and then by the end of it, she blames Jem and the Holograms and the Stingers, and Eric's like, wait, it's their fault? I thought it was your fault. It's both. And black skulls with green eyes come out and fire all around, and
yeah.
Yeah.
I love the skulls.
Yeah, the skulls are awesome. Every artist on this series, it doesn't matter who the artist is, they've always nailed those emotion skulls because they always look so great. So Eric basically tells her that there is an option, but she's not going to like it. The Misfits reality TV show. And I love the panel where he tells her this because the way that Jen draws him and her standing side by side with his right arm kind of like a grand gesture. And he's not really smirking. It looks like he's talking / smiling, and she's just got this utter look of disgust on her face.
Like, are you serious? This is what...
Yep. And then more skulls. Eric, more fire. No way.
He was right. She didn't like it.
Yeah, well, she's not going to like the other option. A cruise line, and not even a good one.
That's kind of waking her up to reality. A cruise line, and not a very good one. She's like, ugh. That's the face of, crap. We're stuck.
Yeah, she's in despair right now.
And we kind of leave the scene with her saying that she has to think about it, and him telling her, well, think fast, because I'm sure there are other bands that they're going to entertain. We get a nice little one-shot panel of her looking out at the beach, and you got everybody down on the beach arguing. Do you know the rules, Clash? I swear, I know plenty of rules to this game. And it, breaks out into an all-out brawl. And, Pizzazz smiles, and because she's thinking back on, her past life. And this one, I was 2 when my parents got divorced, so it's not like I had an option of being there. But parents not showing up to a divorce settlement at all and calling ahead and already having signed that's some cold, hard slag.
Yeah, I agree.
This scene is just heart-wrenching. This scene just makes Pizzazz so much of a more developed and interesting character as we've gone along through this entire comic. This scene basically brings it all home.
Yeah. The thing is that the lawyer comes off more of as a parent than...
Yeah.
And he's not really...
Well, he's probably dealt with her just as... Yeah, he's probably dealt with her as much as her parents have.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. What were you thinking of this whole scene, Aimee?
I really liked it because it just put things in perspective pretty quick. I mean, going from one picture to the next, and you see, if anything, it was the one. And it sets the tone for the rest of the comic, and it made it in a very, very conceivable way that you understand her as a character, because she goes out and basically by the end you realize she went out to create her own family.
Yep.
She did not have, this is not the family that she wanted. And so instead of, well, it's not even whether or not she accepts it or not. This is just how it ended up for her. She has no family because they're just not there. Yeah. And so because of that, I mean, and I have quite a few friends. I have one friend in particular who has done this with her life. And that made it really real for me. It put and here's the other thing that I really noticed that I really, really liked. I keep on saying stuff that's like more of a wrap-up thing, but I really, really loved this issue. It was like, I really, really loved this issue because it did so much for me for Pizzazz, and I'm like, wow, Pizzazz, you're so cool. You're my hero. Because it's hard enough to make your own family. And she has done that. She didn't let this be the end of everything for her. It put I know that's what the original had, but it's just how they went about it, because she's so much more the adult than her parents ever were, because she's taking care of herself, because, she's a kid. She could have really, I mean, this could be a really bad situation here, but she seems more adult and more together in this. And I kind of like that, because in the show, it didn't seem like Pizzazz was Pizzazz. She was the spoiled brat. She pulled out the voice to get Daddy to, give her everything that she wanted. Daddy. And that's not, I'm kind of glad to see that that's the one element that they do not seem to pool in on this storyline. She is a together person. Yeah, she likes to have preferential, but I can do it because I'm a woman and I've always taken care of myself. In fact, I made this band. I picked it up from nothing. I was it. I made the family that I have around me, and I could really, really empathize with that to the point that I'm like, wow, she's so much more of a stronger character than I gave her credit for at the very beginning. Not that it wasn't there, because it was just to actually see this. I'm glad that it came when it did, because it made, I liked this. I liked all of the comics before. Now I love it. So.
The one thing I noticed before we go to her assembling the band scenes, the one thing I noticed about her in the lawyer's office, because, it being her parents' thing, is, you look at her hairstyle there, and I'm not talking about the action, I'm talking about like the color and stuff. She only has a partial bit of green on the front, and the rest of it's black. And, you go to the limo and how, she screams at the driver, and we then flash to 3 years later, and her hair is completely different and all green with just a little bit of black in it, because she's changed who she is. She's grown up in, just, this amount of time. She meets Stormer for the first time. What are we thinking here for this scene for the two of them?
Can Nicole? I just say how much I love Stormer?
Yeah, she's awesome.
Because here she is sitting in the bar by herself, and she's still trying to find where she belongs to, and it's kind of like the knight in shining armor coming up, and she's like, what, in a way that she's getting something that she wants, but probably not the way that she wants it. And you know what? She also needed to find her place, and Pizzazz is the one to show it to her. So. Yep,
absolutely. And then we go to another club with Pizzazz and Stormer, and they find Roxy.
Roxy's awesome.
She is.
Yeah.
I agree.
Look at those shoulder muscles. She can hurt you.
Yeah, she could hurt anybody.
Well, that's another thing that this series does really well, is it shows that each one of them were in different varying degrees of lost until they found each other. And then they got exactly what they were really looking for. Maybe sometimes even more than they were bargaining for, but it meant a good thing, because it was like, hey, you lucked out. You found the family that got you to where you are. And now, because of that, you're so much more stronger because you're not alone. And that was the biggest... I really, really, really liked this series because of that.
We get to the point where they have to... they don't have to, but they go find Jeddah. Roxy's like, oh my god, that's her.
She knows who it is.
Yeah, and Jeddah's throwing somebody out of a bar or a band or something.
She's just throwing someone.
Say it again, you daft bugger, I dare you. That's awesome. Each one of them make an entrance in some way or form. So
very much so.
It's beautiful. It's very, very much the Misfits.
So then we go to Starbucks, I assume, because every comic has to have a Starbucks in it, which, Starbucks ripoff, I guess. And, you're Charlotte Webb. Yes, wait. Oh my god, you're my favorite. And, Clash has a nice pushing style. So we get Clash, and then we get only a very few months ago, we get the Blaze introduction. So Blaze, we've kind of already talked about how Blaze came in. It wasn't necessarily that Pizzazz found her when she was, making the family the first time. But they have this conversation, which is really great, because again, we talked about this when we did issues 17 and 18, that changes issues. Once Pizzazz got her voice back, or once she got better, what was that going to mean for Blaze? Because Blaze was the lead singer, kind of not necessarily replacing Pizzazz, but taking over for her while she was sick. And Pizzazz is like, you know, she says, stop, I won't have you talking that way. I told Eric that we couldn't go backward musically. You bring something exciting to the band, and that was true. What I didn't tell him, because he won't understand, is that this band is a family, and you're a part of that family now. Yeah. And, you know, she gets hugged, and all right, enough. And if you tell anybody we hugged, I'll deny it.
I love it.
I think the best panel. I think the best panel out of the entire issue here is the final, not necessarily the final panel, but the final panel flashing back to the now, where Pizzazz is doing her monologue. I lost my family. I built a new one. We're a hot mess. We're also amazing. And I'll be damned if I'm gonna let anyone break us up now.
Yep.
I love it.
I absolutely love that. Mm-hmm. So Roxy's eating all the chips as usual.
Why not?
Liar! I only ate 2 bags. There are 3.
And
I love this.
Yeah, you guys come up. We gotta talk. Eric, yeah, we're in. You let me worry about that. And kind of end on her telling them, you know, about the reality show, and they're all like, oh, no, 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 no. And finally today, they're on a talk show with Rick Tenenbaum, super late.
I love it.
Yeah, this first issue was awesome.
It's a really good setup for the rest of the Misfit stories, but it also tells Pizzazz as a good mashup of Pizzazz's story and the bringing together of the whole band. And sometimes people fail to mash 2 stories into one, where one is definitely a dominant story and the other one's like just a secondary story. I think this is a good 50-50 tribute to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Final thoughts on the first issue, Aimee?
It was fantastic. I have to absolutely say that this sold me. I was like, I really like that. I came out of this going, okay, I liked the Misfits before, but now I love them. I really love them. Because they had to pull themselves out of obscurity to become who they are. It wasn't just handed to them. Not that the other ones were handed either, but they've already had a really tough start off. And that's not going to defeat them. They know how to bring themselves out of nothing to something, because they already did it. They did it with family. They did it not only family, but becoming musically inclined, and now finding this band. I mean, it's just like one triumph after the next. It's not easy. They know how to hit the street and get to work. I liked that.
What would you give the first issue, 0 to 5?
I'll give it a 5.
I was gonna say I agree. I was gonna give it a 5 too. I mean, there's
5's
really
all
nothing.
around.
There's nothing I could find at fault at this issue.
There really isn't. I mean,
great.
It's so solid. It's a really solid issue.
It is
like
very
the
much
art,
so.
The coloring. I was sign me up. After this, I was like, okay, where do I hit? Give me the next issue. Take my money.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to take a quick JEM song break after this, and we'll come back with issue 2.
JEM will be right back after these messages.
I was going to say Yeti. Yeti.
We're making mischief. to Gem.
All right, we are back from that weird commercial break, I guess. I don't know.
Thank you.
Issue 2, yeah. Issue 2, same. Obviously, the whole series is written by Kelly Thompson. All the art is done by Jen St. Ange. So the same creative team. Issue 2 is all about Stormer. And we get, instead of the band demands list, we get a whole flyer for the Misfits with Pizzazz, Stormer, Roxy, Jetta, and Blaze. And it's the Misfits Get Real. It's their TV poster, I guess you could say.
Nice.
Yep. So we start this one off with Stormer, and she doesn't look like she's too happy.
Well, the last thing, they weren't not happy when they had to agree to this. Eventually, she corralled them into doing it, but they weren't happy. So I wasn't surprised to see her not so enthusiastic about having a camera in her face.
Mm-hmm. And we get all of the camera people moving into the house, along with the camera people aren't here yet, but we get all of the Misfits moving into Pizzazz's house. I
don't know if this is her house or it's just a house that she has that they're all moving in with her. Because
it says at the top.
Does it say?
This morning Pizzazz's Malibu beach house.
Yeah, it's her beach house. They kind of sound as if there's like another house involved, This is her place, but
yeah, but it looks like
Yeah,
and that's fine, but I'm saying it's the same house that was in the first issue.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Okay.
That's where, yeah. So Stormer is looking for Pizzazz, and she wants to, she wants to be struck by lightning right now. Okay, now, damn it!
Anytime now.
Pizzazz is fighting with Roxy and Jetta over a heavy bag.
I love the fact that Roxy's wearing something that's very, very much a call to the outfits that she's worn
from
in
her
the
TV
original,
show.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
From the actual animated TV show.
From the cartoon series, yeah.
Cartoon, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. I like the fact that every single one of her boxes says bagels, more bagels.
Even more bagels.
See, you can't have enough bagels, ever.
It's the bagel that unites us.
Yeah, no.
That's
it's
why
the
it's a
English
circle.
muffin. It's the English muffin that unites us. Oh, God. So we get them arguing over it, and they realize that, we'll just put it in the garage, and Pizzazz is like, fine. Just get it out of the living room. Or get those stupid bagels out of the living room. And this is my favorite panel. I mean, I know this is...
We're going to get cleaned up, Rox, and then we're going to give a couple fantastic live shows, as promised. The Misfits always deliver.
I know this is Stormer's comic, but right now, this is my favorite panel out of the entire comic. Who on earth needs 3 freaking boxes of bagels? She's not careful, she'll turn into a bagel.
I don't think she'll mind that, is the thing. I don't think she would mind. I think if it was up to Roxy, she would have an intimate relationship with a bagel.
Mm-hmm. No comment.
There are no words.
She doesn't need a man in her life. She's got her bagels.
I didn't need that imagery. Thank you.
Do the bagels vibrate?
I'm with Roxy on that, man.
And we go back into the kitchen where Pizzazz is talking to the kitty cat. Yep.
And Stormer needs to talk to her, and Stormer basically says she didn't sign. So get that damn camera out of my face.
Yep.
You can't film any of this.
When I first saw this, I was like, oh. oh, we're going down here because then it makes you wonder, what does Stormer have to hide? Out of all the Misfits, she seems to be the one that shouldn't have anything to really hide.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, not at all. And, you know, Stormer goes on to tell Pizzazz, you know, I told you I had reservations, and, you know, that her reservations are different than Pizzazz's reservations, and they always have been. And it's dealing with, you know, her weight and how she looks, and, you know, and how this has always been her reality, and we get her origin story here, where she is writing Making Mischief.
Mischief.
Which is just so cool and fun and a nice little callback to the series. Mm-hmm. And we see that part of her life is that she gets bullied because of her weight, and they make fun of her fishnet gloves or whatever they're supposed to be because they're on her hands, they're not on her legs. I've gotten in trouble on this podcast before for talking about some of the fashion, so I'm going to leave this up to you guys. I've never seen fishnet gloves before. I've seen fishnet stockings, but... Did
you not grow up in the 80s? Madonna made that a trend, man.
Okay.
She totally
that
did.
All right.
Total Madonna, yeah.
Okay. All right. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
I loved this whole sequence because I was like, oh, I wish I had a little girl like this. I'd be like, oh, you wear whatever you want, girlfriend. I'd be like, oh, yes.
Yep.
And I would be just so much hate for a girl like that. I'd be like, evil dagger eyes at her every single time I see her, just because I'm sure that my daughter would probably tell me that Heather is the one that teases her. And I'd be like, is that Heather? Oh, please, let me get her alone in the bathroom, please. Please, let me get her. I will make her cry, please. And then she'll be like, Mom, stop, Mom. You're going to embarrass me, and it's going to make it worse, okay? But, you know, I tell her I can't protect. If I get in a bathroom with her, I'm really going to make her cry. I'm just saying.
It's too bad she's not here to defend herself on the podcast. That's why she isn't the one true Prime. Anyway.
Oh, Heather?
Yes.
Oh, that's not the Heather that, yeah.
Yeah, I know.
I don't have to do that. James does that.
So Stormer sees a flyer after the Mean Girls leave. She sees a flyer on the on the bulletin board in the school, and you know they're looking for a singer. And we get to about 3 years ago, and Stormer is singing in this bar, and that's where Pizzazz meets her. And we kind of get it's a little bit more of what we've kind of already seen in the first issue. Mm-hmm. But it's from Stormer's point of view.
I really like it. I really like how the continuity is there. And I love it. Mm-hmm.
It's like the first part was a sneak preview. Now we're getting the full unedited version.
Yeah. And, you know, Pizzazz, you know, so she meets up with, you know, Pizzazz comes over and she tells her, I think I just saw them leave. Wait, what? Really? Oh, man, they were my ride. I can give you a ride. That was your song, the last one, the good one. So we have a whole bunch of bonding here with Stormer and Pizzazz. And Pizzazz tells her, come with me and let's tear down the world together.
Come with me if you want to live.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Come with me if you want to live.
Oh yeah, wow. Come and write for me, with me. Be my partner. Build it with me. Together I think we can create something amazing, but you gotta take a leap with me. You up for that? You have to be. And Stormer says, yes, I am. And
well, in the previous panel, this is why she's called Stormer, is because you've got a storm inside you, Mary.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I liked that. I was like, that's nice. Very poetic. Yep. I like it. Mm-hmm. That's very much her. And
it comes back at the end of this, too.
Yeah.
Which is really nice. And we get to the concert, and we see Pizzazz is singing, and we've got a heckler in the audience. Get that whale off stage.
Ooh.
What the
Bad thing
hell
to
did
say.
you just say? I wasn't talking to you. I was talking to the whale behind you.
Oh,
And
that just makes me hurt. You know, as a person who's suffered from weight issues her whole life, it's just like, oh my gosh. You know, you think after you're out of high school it would change, but it doesn't.
No.
You know?
I Pizzazz's reaction was absolutely warranted.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
You don't say that to somebody who's got a shirt on that says reject. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
You do not do that. Or else you're going to get a knuckle sandwich. Just saying.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hell. I didn't realize this is all of them. This isn't just... Wait. It's the whole band. It's not just... Okay.
A few months later.
Oh,
so
okay. So it's after the... Yeah. So it's after she is... Okay. See, I didn't realize it. I thought it was just her and Stormer at first. I didn't see Jetta and Roxy at first in the panel where it's just the song lyrics. I didn't see that. I didn't notice that. Okay, wow. All right.
He's lucky he didn't get the whole band on him.
Yeah. He's lucky he didn't get Jetta sicked on him.
Yeah, she would have picked him up and taken him out, man.
And we get to a point where, Pizzazz gets arrested, taken to jail. Crap, anyone got bail? Maybe if we pool together. Stormer's like, I got it, I'll take care of it. And, she bails her out, and, Stormer thanks her about, defending her, and Stormer says, thank you, but also you can't do that again. We're going to be really famous. You can't just attack everyone who's cruel to me. Yes, I can.
and that. Oh my gosh! If you didn't like Pizzazz, then you got to give her kudos for standing up to a bully.
And you do notice that there is a crazy look in her eye, right? Yes, I can.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. I was like, that is awesome. That's my favorite panel right there. Yes, I can.
Yeah, I can.
Yeah,
I will.
They didn't need a skull there. She is the skull.
Yeah, pretty much. We didn't need a fire effect or skulls there. So we get Stormer's phone blowing up with all these tweets, and this goes to online bullying. And I love that Kelly put this in here and addresses this and shows how much it affects somebody. Mm-hmm. We just recently on Altered Geek talked about, we revisited the subject. On GCRN we did 5 years ago or so, we did bullying. It was GCR episode 36, bullying, it must be stopped no matter the cost. And yes, that is an Optimus Prime line. Nice. And we talked about it back then, about what it was like, and we just revisited the topic now because we wanted to revisit it and see if anything has changed. And sadly, it's gotten worse in 5 years.
Yeah, I know.
Not just bullying in schools or on the playground. Cyberbullying it's blown up, and it's sad as hell.
Well, I work with a youth group, and I see this way too often. And unfortunately, the cyberbullying leads to depression, which leads to some consequences that cannot be taken back. And it's horrible. Yeah. It's very horrible. And I just, every time I deal with this youth group, I'm like, I'm so glad I'm not a teenager these days, Oh.
Yeah. When I was a young kid, I would say between 4 and 12, maybe, before I hit my teen years. I was always a fairly skinny kid because I had a super fast metabolism, and it didn't matter what I ate because my entire family fed me. I think I almost think by the time I was 2 years old, my Aunt Joyce and my Aunt Diane and all the aunts and uncles and my grandmother and on my dad's side were all feeding me M&Ms by the handful.
Nice.
I know for a fact, as a 7, 8, 9-year-old, my Uncle Richard, on my mom's brother, he would every Christmas he would get me a king-size bag of red and green M&Ms. That's why I love red and green M&Ms so much, is because they're a Christmas memory. As I got older, I did gain weight. I'm anywhere between 380 and possible. I haven't been on a scale in 2 years. I just don't, because the way I have my doctor set up is I have what's called extended house calls. So the doctor actually comes to me. So,
nice.
it's a whole other issue. But anyway, it's a whole other story. But anyway, my point is I've dealt with, weight all my life, just like you have, Nicole. And obviously my story is different than your story. It affects us differently. But it's one of those things where, I'm living on my own again. I've been living on my own for 2 years since my mom passed. So because of the cerebral palsy, so mine is an additional issue because of the cerebral palsy that I was born with, because I don't drive. I have to walk everywhere. I have to use the bus line everywhere or whatever else and all of that, which is not a problem. And I'm getting more exercise now than I was, a year and a half ago, because I'm walking more and I'm, using the apartment building to just walk up and down the stairs and things like that. But weight loss is a very, very big issue when it comes to, well, I don't say weight loss, dealing with weight and being overweight or being heavy or whatever you want to call it. It's a very big issue for various people, and I love how Kelly has tackled this.
Completely agree.
Yeah, she did an amazing job with this.
It's just one. I mean, she could have picked pretty much anything. I'm glad that she did this.
Yeah.
This is a good one here. I mean, but bullying can come in all forms. I mean, it can come for any reason. You just get a bunch of kids together that are bullies, and they can come after you for any reason. So this made this issue incredibly relevant, not just to somebody like me, but to any kid that's on the street picks this up. Anybody that's ever been bullied before is going to understand what this is like to have this happen to them. And I think that it puts this comic, in a place where it's relevant, and it will continue to stay relevant because social media is not going away anytime soon.
Nope.
So I was really, really glad to see this in here, because it made this comic just open up to that many more audience members. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So It's just like, oh wow, this is just so cool to see that.
So I'm going to put Nicole on the spot. Do you want to tell us or the listeners about your story and your journey and how this comic affected you?
What about my weight?
Yeah.
Well, I've always had a weight issue. Well, I was always very physical, and so I always had a lot of muscle. But when I was 27, so I was always one of the bigger girls in my class. But of course, I had a bunch of anorexic girls in my class, so I always thought I was fat, even though I really wasn't. I look at my pictures now, I'm like, what was I thinking? But when I was 27, I got diagnosed with PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome. Basically, my ovaries are filled with a bunch of cysts, which took the hormones and took them into a whole new direction. I gained 70 pounds in 2 months. And then I gained another 30 because of depression. So if you add that up, yes, I gained 100 pounds in the course of about 4 months, and I can never get it off. And for 12 years I went to every doctor imaginable, and I got called lazy, even though I was going to the gym 2 hours a day. I got called, everyone's like, you just need more diet and exercise. And I'm like, I eat 1,000 calories or less a day. I was doing everything I was supposed to, but people just saw the physical side. They didn't know what I was actually doing to combat it. And so it wasn't until this year when I got weight loss surgery, finally losing weight, as fast as I want to, but but yeah, it's very hurtful because a lot of people that do have weight issues, it's probably sometimes it's not as it's not
black and
because
white.
It's not because you're sitting at home and eating 3 large pizzas and downing Coke all the time, So yeah. So when I saw that panel get that whale off stage, it brought back so many insults. It's just like, oh my gosh, Here this woman is. She is living her dream. She is talented. She's beautiful, and all anyone can see is her weight, and it's just, yeah.
Yeah, it's not good. So we get back to the meeting with the executives, and they're wanting to run a few story concepts by Stormer, and and they want to, move the narrative, and they bring up, the overweight, the quote-unquote lesbian thing, and they're talking about numbers and ratings and sponsors and advertisers and all of that, and she basically tells them, no, there are 0 ways to do this. And
they want to make a narrative that where she's got some sort of thing that she's got to beat, and so they're basically telling her that they're going to give her what she needs. They're going to give her exactly the problem that she needs to beat, and they're basically taking control of the whole narrative and all that. And she's like, no, I don't think so. And I'm so glad that she said no, because gosh darn it, this is her life. And they're trying. Yes, they are making a TV show, but it just goes to show that how insensitive that they're coming across as a room full of assholes, basically. And I was just like, yeah, I would have said the same damn thing and walked out and said, you know what? There's my big white ass. Kiss it. Yeah, and then they said, well, that didn't go well. Oh, you think?
You think? We get back to Stormer and Pizzazz talking, and, Pizzazz tells her, you're right. I guess I thought you'd come to terms with it. You're so, fierce and brave. And Stormer's like, I have to be. Oh, wait. And she starts laughing, and I have to be, and laughing more, and the panel where she says, I have to be, it's not a choice. If there's not a choice, then all there is what I do with it. In this panel, she has the most evilest grin on her face. She looks more evil than Pizzazz ever was.
I love it.
Yeah, no, I love it too. I think it's great. And, her idea is that she's going to give them her narrative, one that she's always lived, the one that got me here, the one they can't even comprehend.
Oh, I can't wait. This is why we call them Misfits, right?
Yep. So she signs, and she tells them what changed her mind. Everything changed my mind. I don't fit in the world, and I mean that in all the ways. It's a strange thing to walk around the world and know that it's not meant for you, to be bothered every waking moment of every day just by the vehicle that you've been given to travel in. It's the simplest thing in the world, and also the most complex. By fate or chance, who knows, this is the package I've been given to travel the world. And it's beautiful, but it also happens to be a package that the current world is frequently disgusted by, just by its very existence. And she goes on and tells them all of this and everything else, and by the end of it she says, but I don't want a small world. I don't want to be safe. I want a big, scary, amazing life. So
I love that woman.
Yeah. And this is where, made of storms, I will tear you up. That's where that comes in. And Pizzazz standing just outside of earshot at the end. Hell yeah, Storm. And that's what ends this one.
Yeah.
See, this is what that very last panel. This is what's different from the comics from the 80s cartoon. Pizzazz is so supportive of her bandmates, and she wants to see them succeed. She wants to see them kick ass in this world, and I love it. You know, I love it.
And in a sense, she's even secretly there cheering them on, whether or not they know it or not. And I'm sure that afterwards, I bet she went up to her and says, "I am so proud of you. You totally rocked it." Yeah.
Yeah, Pizzazz will do that kind of stuff in very private moments when nobody's around, like when you know.
Well, she still has a reputation to, you know.
Well,
Yeah,
and I
she
understand
has to go off
that.
as a bad, you know, you got a bad rap. You got to keep it there, right?
And I understand that, but I'm saying this Pizzazz in this moment, in this comic, in this day and age, Kelly has written her to the point of she is that big badass that we knew from the cartoon, but she also has that softer side that she only shows when her and the Misfits are by themselves.
Yes.
Which makes her character more dynamic.
Oh, absolutely.
I love Stormer's story. I think it was a wonderfully done story. The art in it is amazing. I think Jen is doing a great job on the art. I love how she drew Stormer as a younger child. I think that was done well. Aimee, final thoughts on this one?
I can just when I didn't think that they could outdo the last issue, they did it.
Yeah.
I mean, this is fantastic. I mean, it got me right in the feels, man. That got me right in the feels, like big time.
And at least no robots died either.
I mean, that's true.
Know.
That's true. But this isn't a robot.
I know.
Comic.
But you know.
No, it got me in the feels for something that really happens. I mean, everybody's been bullied. I've been bullied. Mine was not a weight issue. Mine was other things. But still, it wasn't very hard for me to look at that and go, yeah, I know exactly those type of mean girls. The only reason why the only reason why I would get all possessive or aggressive with a girl like that and make them cry is because I've been teased. I know what that feels like, and I don't think anybody should be treated in that way. And you know, I'd be like Pizzazz. I'd be like, you want to tell that to my face again? Because them's fighting words. I'll beat you up. Because that's something I can relate to. So, you know, it wasn't too hard for me to look at this and go, you know, that sucks. It sucks to be in a position where you're being treated the way that you are for something that's most of the time out of your control. And, yeah. That got me in the feels. I felt a lot of emotions after that issue. I was like, I don't know if they're going to be all like this. Dang, man. It's like the Misfits have turned into this completely different dynamic that I never even thought of. Or it was always there. It just was never capitalized on. And oh my gosh, Kelly, love you, girl. Thank you. Keep writing this stuff.
Yeah.
I know.
Nicole, final thoughts for issue 2?
Like I said, I pretty much echo what Aimee said. This issue spoke to me personally just because of I relate to Stormer. I was that girl singing in the bedroom, you know, wanting to be a rock star, and then knowing that I might not be able to do that because I don't look like the ideal rock star, you know, and yeah, I really love this issue. It's so good. so much fun. And yeah, it got you in the feels too, like you said.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah.
0 to 5 rating, Aimee, what are you going to give it?
Another 5.
It's 5s
Another
all
5.
around.
Yeah.
We might as well not even ask each other.
Yeah.
Issue number 3 is all about Blaze.
Yes. Blaze.
And we have something very, very special with this. Written by Kelly Thompson and Sophie Campbell.
Sophie. I saw that and I was like, yes!
Art done by Jen St. Ange as well. So again, outside of adding Sophie to the writing credits for this issue, the creative is all the same. We get the Misfits TV show logo with the characters. We open this one up with Breaking Up, Breaking Out, the song that they're singing. It says, Pizzazz's Malibu Beach House recording and rehearsal studio. Currently home to all the Misfits and two very intrusive reality television film crews. Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. And, Pizzazz is like, that's it. We finally got it. And everybody's like, yay! Hell yeah!
Mm-hmm.
And we get to Blaze, and Blaze is like, so same time tomorrow, or where are you running off to? We're not done? Well, yes, technically we're done, but you seem in an awful hurry. And come to think of it, that's happening a lot lately. Is that a problem? It depends. And then Stormer, of course, comes to her defense. She's allowed to do whatever she wants, whenever she wants. Well, except during rehearsal, but rehearsal is over.
Exactly.
Storms off.
And she has strong feelings about that.
Yep.
It's like, hey, we're living together, cooped up all the time. They want to regulate people's comings and goings. What's next? I swear. Ah! Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So we find out why. We find out why Blaze is being so secretive, and she has another band. Okay.
That's got to be exhausting.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, that's got to be exhausting.
I would imagine so. Well, I think that's why, like, when you see, everybody likes Slipknot, right?
I like Slipknot.
Okay, well, there you go. When you see Corey Taylor doing Slipknot stuff for a while, and then they stop and they take a break so he can do his Stone Sour stuff or his own, I really don't want to use this analogy, but I'm sorry. When you see Axl doing Guns N' Roses stuff and then AC/DC stuff, but anyway,
Sorry.
It's very hard to juggle, but it's one of those things where that's why I think when bands take breaks, it allows either the lead singer or the other bandmates to either do other projects. So I see where they're kind of going with this. And obviously by the end of the comic we know where it'll go once she has to actually tell Pizzazz. But at first it's like, oh, super secret band. Okay then. Interesting. That's one way to explore Blaze's life even more.
Yeah.
Because they've already hit on the transgender part. They did that they did that storyline ago. So
that was like almost at the very beginning when they introduced the character.
Yep.
I thought, wow, girl, you just keep on bringing the drama.
Mm-hmm. So what are we thinking of Blaze and her band here, Aimee?
I like it. I like the fact that she has another band. I thought, wow, okay, so why is this a big secret? Are you worried about this?
Mm-hmm.
Why should this be a secret? You got your talent somewhere. It wasn't just from, just suddenly singing, in the shower. You've been practicing. Mm-hmm. So this seemed like the right thing because, the character, she's got some pipes and she wasn't the original in the Misfits to begin with. So the fact that she's got a side gig, okay. All right. Well, that's maybe this is her anti-drug music.
I like that.
Thoughts, Nicole?
Oh, I'm enjoying it. I was kind of nervous at first when I was reading this. I was just like, oh no, so they're going to get rid of Blaze after she just barely fought her way into the band?
Yeah,
You're just like,
that
what?
was my worry too, is because I thought, well, okay, well, does she have to? Is this going to be a reason why they're going to move her out? I was like, well, I kind of like her there, so we'll see. Mm-hmm. But toward the end, then you realize, actually, yeah. But still, I was just like, okay, well, I hope this means that this is not the end of the character. Well, I had that answered at the very end, so I was like, yeah, cool.
Yeah, it was one of those ones like, oh man, because this was the time when they were saying that the series wasn't going to continue, so it's just like, okay, so they're going to end by her leaving the band, and yeah.
So we get Blaze's flashback to 7 years ago, and she and her friend are going to a Luna Dark concert. And Blaze figures out that she wants to sing. We go to 5 years ago, and it's her and her roommate who are listening to this, and they, it's so good. And the other roommate is like, "Can you guys keep it down? Were we being super loud? Loud enough?"
Actually, I think the roommate was Clash. She looks very Clash.
Yeah, she looks a lot like yeah. I was gonna say.
Yeah, it is Clash.
Okay, good.
I think. Yeah. Clash and Blaze were roommates.
Roommate, and I was like, no. I think that's Clash. Pretty sure.
Yeah. Well, I didn't recognize her on the. She doesn't have the blue in her hair that she had earlier.
No, but it's
obviously
definitely
this
her.
is 7. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's all right, because Blaze doesn't have the red in her, or the yellow in hers, so...
Yeah.
It's the evolution of the characters.
Yeah, no, absolutely it is. And I guess the person at the door is it's not another roommate, but it's a neighbor or something, and asking them to keep it down, it's Courtney, her other friend, I guess. And she wants her to listen to something, and she's like, "Yeah, no thanks." So we have this whole story, and she says that she's going. Leah says she's going to be Blaze, and we go back to today. And we get Blaze in the grocery store?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Okay. And she drops a sandwich. Oh, no. And she meets Luna Dark.
She meets her hero. I mean, to me, this is so awesome. I mean,
it is,
to meet your hero, and your hero actually being awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's great. Because I always say don't meet your heroes. But
yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So they get, a back and forth, which is a nice little back and forth between them. What were you thinking of this exchange here, Nicole?
With Luna Dark?
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. Like I said, I mean, who wouldn't want to meet their hero and have them be totally awesome? And the way that she, gave Blaze encouragement, and I just love it. If I ever met my hero, I would like to think that that's how they would act. So,
Aimee, what'd you think?
I thought it was perfect. I thought it was really great that she runs into her, her hero, the person that got her into what she's doing, and I was like, yeah, if everybody could have this type of a moment with their person, it'd be great,
Mm-hmm.
So it was awesome. I liked it. It made it fit.
Yep. And we get back to the beach house, and Blaze, she's looking out and she sees Pizzazz. She goes running up to her, and Pizzazz is like, "The sun can't actually reach me through your body, Blaze." Oh, sorry. And they have a conversation. And she wants to be she wants to talk to her off the record and not be filmed, and they eventually go out in the middle of the ocean. And this is where Blaze tells her about her side project, and Pizzazz is like, "Well, it's everything you wanted, isn't it?" So there's that, and we get a nice little thing with the camera people. I can't believe Pizzazz took off her audio pack. Can you hear them at all? No, I'm trying to read their lips. Can you read lips? Blaze may have just said squint eye quest.
I love it.
I love it. I love how Pizzazz, she's taking the TV show seriously, but she takes her friendships even more serious.
Yeah.
So
I agree. She does.
So.
And she says, I don't understand, Pizzazz tells her, I don't understand why you think you can only be in one band at a time. I mean, yes, it's good you confessed, because you definitely cannot be in a secret band. Well, not without me calling you a traitor and a liar person and tearing your head off, but you can definitely have a side project. That's just smart.
Yeah.
So they have a nice little...
She's like, are you serious? Yes, of course. I knew from the first time I met you that you're a lead singer, Blaze. And you're right. There's only room for one lead singer here. And that lead singer is obviously me. Oh, obviously. Yeah, obviously.
I like how she, Pizzazz just amazes me in this Misfit series because she is a business person. And the thing is, if Blaze would have just told her, probably from the beginning, she wouldn't have had to sneak around all the time,
Yeah.
Because she seems so understanding. Like, yeah, I was in your position before. I had to fight my way to get back in this position where I am at now. And she's like, and you're doing what you want to do. And I like that support that she's giving her.
Absolutely. Overall, the Blaze story I thought was very well done. I love the way Jen does the art on this, the art, and Victoria on the colors as well. The colors just pop, especially at the end of the issue where it's Blaze doing the singing and it's the fire, it's the black, yellow, and red. Oh, absolutely love that. Aimee, final thoughts on Blaze's story?
Again, it just goes. This is another issue where we see. Pizzazz being the validator and the businesswoman and everything that it just, she's so solid. I just fell in every single issue I rated this. I'm like, okay, wow, where was this when I was in the 80s? Doggone it.
I know, right?
Can you imagine how much of an effect this would have had on kids, especially girls that were watching this, if they had heard stuff like this coming out of Pizzazz's mouth? Wow. I mean, wow. Just think about that. How it would have affected those young little girls to hear some character say that. And this is what we get now. And I'm like going, yes. If you're, you don't have to be a girl to like this. But still, it's just like, give this to a young person right now, please. They need to be reading this. This is so much win. And no, I'm not I'm not quoting the person go winning. No, this is just so much win. It's Pizzazz win. Just saying.
Yep, absolutely. I assume 5s all around.
Yes, absolutely.
I would say this one was. I'm going to give it a 4.5 because it didn't hit me in the feels like the other two did. I mean, it's great. And this was more of an upbeat one, and we kind of already knew Blaze's backstory from previous issues. So I'm going to give it a 4.5 because it didn't strike me like the other two. I'm not saying that it's bad. No, it's great. But
well, yeah, I mean, a 4.5 is still a good rating.
Yeah.
So. All right, issue 4 is going to have a lot of bagels in it, folks.
Well, you get to hear her story why she likes bagels.
Yeah,
bagels,
very true.
Bagels everywhere.
So we open up to this morning on Pizzazz's Malibu Beach House, current home of the Misfits band, and now reality TV show stars. They're just bagels, Roxy. Pizzazz, I'm gonna kill you. Say that again. That's not the point. And also, bagel is never just a bagel. I don't get what the big deal is. And have we seen, I assume we have. We've been doing this so long, folks. I don't remember every single outfit any of these women have ever worn. Have we seen Pizzazz's skull pajamas before?
Yeah, the onesie, we have.
Okay, I just want to make sure. Because they work in the skulls any way they can, which is so great. It's so great. So
Does the
Roxy.
shirt that Roxy has on, does it say Frank?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
And you figure out why that is.
Yeah, I know. But I was just like, doesn't it say Frank?
Yeah.
I like it. It's legible.
Yep. And
I was going to make a rude comment, but I'm not going to.
Go ahead. We're all about rude comments.
Because it goes with the whole story. I'm like, I wonder if she realizes if that's what it says.
Oh.
Oh. Yeah.
Nicole. Oh.
No, because I mean, you're gonna find out in this issue what her backstory is.
Oh God.
Hey, this is my favorite character.
Oh,
I love this character to death.
God.
Would only be okay if it came from Nicole. It would be completely different if it came from me. I'd like to believe that at some point she figured out what those letters say, at least.
Yes.
God.
I mean, even if she can't read, I want to say that some things probably do jump out, maybe not nearly as much as others. Because I struggled when I was a kid reading. I love reading now, but
well, the thing is, she knows how to sign her name.
Yeah,
as we'll find out. And but I'm wondering if she knows like her father's name, or yeah, we'll get to it. Yeah.
Yeah, and we get to Rudy's boxing gym and Roxy getting ready to go out and box, and
she pretty much says, "I can't stay here," and she's just
Yeah.
this raging. She just rages easily, and it kind of reminded me of people that can't really articulate what they're feeling, and what they're saying, because it takes effort to sit down and actually, 1, be vulnerable, and 2, be okay in that position, and then 3, be able to articulate what you're feeling. Those are all things that Roxy has not really had. So her going off and being a live wire was very, I really liked it, because it showed a very authentic individual that would react like that. And it explained, it goes into explain eventually, but I'm like, I got that very intuitively from the very beginning. Mm-hmm. She doesn't. She's hiding something, just like Stormer was hiding something. Mm-hmm. And what does she do? She gets volatile when she gets put in a position like that. If she feels like she's put into a corner, she's going to go beat on something. So it makes perfect sense that she goes to the gym, especially since we already talked about previously she wanted to hang a what do you call
boxing? It's a box. It's a heavy bag.
Yeah, she wanted to hang a boxing bag in the house.
Garage. Yeah.
And this is why, is because when she has frustrations, she needs to have an outlet, and that is her outlet. And so if she doesn't have it, she's going to go somewhere to get it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So she meets up with, this little girl finds her, and this little girl said that her dad, was working out and said I could come over and get an autograph. And Roxy's like, you know who I am? Yeah, you're Roxy. You're in the Misfits. I want to be a drummer just like you.
Oh, that's so cute. I love it. I love this issue. You're going to hear me swooning all the time. So. Yeah.
We know. Yeah. It's the overdose of bagels. We get it.
Exactly.
So turns out the little girl's name is Heaven Backwards, and she says, "Isn't that just so cool?" Yeah, it is. And Roxy sees the camera people have followed her, and she freaks. And they're like, "Wait, what just happened?" So she runs into the locker room, and the little girl's like, "Roxy?" And we see a hand in front of the camera. Hey. You follow her in there, and I'll break every bloody bone in your bodies twice.
And her shirt says, "Keeping it real."
Yep.
I love that.
Yeah, no problem. We're good. She's terrifying. Totally.
Yeah. Jetta's awesome.
Yeah. And, she walks in the locker room. Oh, Rox, no. And we go back about 12 years ago in Philadelphia. Hey! Hey! So they kept almost all the origins correct. Oh, okay, Kelly
kept
kept
the best pieces, and then
the
they
best
just made it
pieces
much
and the
more
best
awesome.
details, and they wrote their own. She's writing her own origin stories for each of these characters, but Kelly has the sense to also include stuff that we would recognize.
Well, it's the essence of what these characters were, essentially. Just, you know, made more awesome.
So we have Roxy in front of her teacher, and that's not going so well.
She's a tough kid. She's got a Band-Aid on her face. She's kind of, coming off a little dirty. Her elbows, scuffed up. She's got the long, pretty hair, but, it does come off right at the very beginning. She's a troubled child. Yeah.
She does have a dad, but she does get bullied a little bit here by the girl sitting out.
Sorry, Heather.
Yeah, another Heather.
Whenever you say that, I just think of the movie Heathers.
Heathers, yeah. Yeah. There was 3 of them. Not 3 movies, but there was 3 Heathers in that movie. So we go back to Roxy's home with her dad, and can we have bagels for dinner? Why not? Well, whatever my little Miss Pellegrini wants, she gets.
I love her relationship with her dad.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's super awesome. Which is, so he's like, I'm done, and he's like, it's time for a surprise, and surprise? Why is there a surprise? And he got her a drum set.
And she's got stars in her eyes. It's like, oh! I loved it. Oh, that's so awesome.
Yeah. All I can think of is, look, Raoul, stars, ready when you are. Well, his name was Roger Rabbit. I recently did a commentary for Roger Rabbit.
Nice.
So she gets the drum set, and she asks him, how do I look? You look perfect, Rox.
I love it. I love it. Oh my gosh.
Awesome.
Again, the feels. Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
So good.
I love the little heart that he has when he's saying it in the panel. It's just, oh.
Yeah, it's so good. So very good. What I'm loving here is Jen's art style is so character driven by the texture of the building, the car that he's working on, the drum set, Roxy herself, even her dad. You look at the panel where she hugs him and thanks him. Just look at his hair, the eyebrows, the sideburns and all that. Just such detail and so cool and fun and interesting. I love how different each of these issues has been on the art, even though it is all the same artist. This series gave Jen St. Ange a chance to try out many different art styles. And honestly, we'll get to Jed's story here in a little bit, but, through the first 4 issues, I love all the various art styles that she's done for each of these characters.
I do too.
So... So she tells her dad that she can't really read.
Yeah, roughly 9 years ago. She says, Dad, I gotta tell you something, I think. Yeah, he's like, what's that? It's embarrassing. You can tell me anything, sweetie. I can't really read. And he's
and
like,
that's for you.
What?
And yeah, you notice that's the shirt that she has on.
Oh, that's
is
right.
what
Yeah,
one Dad's wearing now.
Gotcha.
See, that's what before you made your comment. That's where I thought you were going. That's what I figured originally. I did not even think into the fact that she couldn't read. Like, I figured she had the shirt on because it was her dad's. Because I remembered when I read this the first time. Because I read this series twice. Because we were originally supposed to record this like a month before we actually did, folks. But anyway, that's what I originally thought when I saw it. I thought, oh, it's her dad's shirt. But I didn't even consider the not being able to read part in it.
Like I said, I think she probably knows her dad's name because she knows her name.
Yeah.
You know what? Now that I'm just flipping back, you know what? Because just look at all the panels with the dad, and he's got the shirt wrapped around his, like the previous ones. She comes home, she has a light green shirt on with a plaid. He's got a dark, like a slightly different color green with the shirt that she wears that says Frank on it. And then the next part, so it's like she has a really great relationship with her dad. I mean, not that I didn't get that before, but you know what? She's even dressing the same color.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah,
I didn't catch that the first read. Wow.
Yeah.
That's
very
awesome,
cool.
man.
Very, very cool.
So he, instead of judging her, he's just like, what? And then he validates this. It's like, tell me what happened. What happened?
Yeah.
And it just turned out that, you know, it was hard. She thought that it would get better. And they went so fast. And instead of get easier, it got harder. And it couldn't catch up. And she got embarrassed. And then it just, one thing snowballed into another. I know what that feels like.
I think we all do, yeah.
Because when I was a kid, reading almost got the best of me too. I was a very slow reader. I've always been a slow reader. I still am a slow reader. I like to read every single word. But back in the day, the fast, it's just like I can see how a kid could easily just pretend and, you know, get through that. And it you know, it just like, so I totally empathize with this kid. But then instead of like scolding her, like he says that we'll figure this out and we'll get you a tutor if we have to. This should not be embarrassing. There's nothing to be embarrassed about, you know? And it's just like, it's like this perfect daddy-daughter moment. And I'm like, oh, And that's when I was like, geez, this one really gives me the feels too. Cause like,
oh yeah. And then you turn the page and you're just like, oh no.
Yeah, you turn the page and then you're like, oh crap, what happened?
The tears come and you're like, oh god.
Because apparently Dad passed away.
Like suddenly, like before she.
But if you look at the previous panel, he's looking a little rough. And then you turn the page, you're like, oh man.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah.
It was all those bagels. Yeah. Sorry.
Oh. See, I told you English muffins were better. So she meets her Aunt Jackie, her father's sister.
Well, she didn't even know she had.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, they never talked because they had a falling out years ago, not long after you were born, I think. Who does that? And I say that, and I know half my family's been back in the day, not my generation, but a couple generations ago, they did that. They offed one of their, or not offed, but like they quite literally just stopped talking to a member of the family, and we lost half that side of the family until somebody died and that half of the family came to a funeral.
Yep. And we find out that the bully that was bullying her is actually not a Heather, she's a Laura. And they go on and, bully her as always, dumb as a box of rocks and all that. And that just enrages her even more. And she actually attacks Laura.
Good for her.
I hate you. Oh my God, let her go. Stop it. Fight, fight, fight. I hate you. Stop it. I've warned you about fighting repeatedly, Roxanne. That's it. Get off of me. Get back here, Roxanne. And she runs off. She says that she doesn't belong there, and she packs her stuff and goes.
She just runs away. And I love how she makes sure she gets her dad's shirt.
Yeah.
And the drumsticks.
And the drumsticks, yeah.
Because she's gonna leave, but yeah.
Yep.
I don't know, for some reason I kind of got the feeling that her aunt was just like, I don't think she even said it, but she really pulled off this whole, you're my problem now because your father was irresponsible, blah, 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 and she's just gonna, she's not gonna let her play the drums. She's not gonna let her do some of this stuff. She's gonna be like, If they meant to pull it off as being, she's just gonna be that aunt that's like, oh, I'm gonna give you a roof to stay over my a roof over your head, but I'm not gonna deal with any of your drama, so you better straighten it up or else you get out. And I think that's the reason that's...
Well, the thing is, if her aunt really cared, she would have realized that she has a problem and tried to help her. But it's just like, yeah, you're going to sleep here and that's about it.
Yeah. So we go to where she is now. She's, a waitress at a diner.
5 years ago in New York City. Yep.
Yeah, a really cheap-looking Denny's in New York City. And she runs into this...
All those years, she wasn't able to write anything down. She just has a really good memory. She memorizes stuff as soon as it comes in because she can't write it down. So, yeah.
Yep. So the guy that she's serving says, you look like a drummer, and he says, incessant drumming always is a dead giveaway. What kind of setup do you have? And she tells him that she's looking to save up for this, and he asks her to audition for his band and leaves her a flyer, and we get back to, damn it.
Yeah, because she can't read it.
She can't read it. Yeah.
Oh my gosh! I mean, how frustrating! Oh, when I saw that, I'm like, oh, here's her opportunity, and you're just like, and it's gonna leave her because she doesn't have the ability to get there. I'm just like, oh my gosh, how heartbreaking!
And we get back to present day, and she says to Jetta that she needs help, and Jetta's like, I know, Rox, it's okay, what can I do? And, she says, that little girl, she said her name was Heaven backwards, but I can't. And Jetta kind of starts laughing, and what's so funny? It's just, that's what Sheila means. Did you know that? Sheila means heaven. So you named yourself Heaven Burns? Yeah, pretty great, huh? Are you ever going to tell me your real name? No, because it's not my real name. It's just a name that some people who didn't know me gave to me before I even knew me, It doesn't matter. It's not real. Okay, what do you want it to say?
It just reminds me of Tropic Thunder. I'm a dude playing a dude who's another dude.
Out of all the references and all the podcasts in all the world, I never thought a Tropic Thunder reference would come in a JEM podcast.
Oh, I got it wrong. It's Creeping It Real.
It is. It's creeping. Yeah, it's creeping it real.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that is very awesome.
Especially because they find her really creepy. The crew, the recording crew.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, she scares me.
Yep. So they have a nice little moment. She gives the girl her autograph, and I wonder what's going on with her. Is it possible that she... give the girl some peace. Have you no decency? Jetta, I'll be honest, I'm sort of terrified of you, but we gotta do our jobs here. Give us a break. Break.
Sort of terrified.
Break is a really bad choice of words, Ellen.
Lisa, remind me to talk to Paige about this when we get back. I think there's something here. Could be something the whole back half of the series spins on. And Jetta looks back at Roxy, who the little girl is now hugging, and Jetta faces the camera again. You're never going to leave her alone, are you? She'll never get the room she needs. Well, all right then, so be it. You wankers so desperately juicy for a story, I'll give you a bloody story.
I love that.
To be concluded.
I loved this.
This was awesome.
This. I was like, oh, it is so on. It is so on. A perfect lead in to Jetta's portion of it. It's just like, perfect. It practically wrote itself, I'm sure. I bet she laughed at that line.
Hope as much as it did. I hope
she did.
Yeah, I mean, I hope this wrote itself.
It seems
Yeah.
flawless. It made it look flawless. I'm sure Kelly's like, no, it really wasn't. But yeah, I hope she had a nice little chuckle to herself when she wrote those lines for Jeddah.
Yeah, absolutely. I actually hope she was watching various Jeddah episodes of the old series at the time. Just to get a little bit of inspiration, not to copy anything out of it, but just to get a little inspiration. But just on the voice and the inflections and things like that. Overall, issue 4 of the Misfits series, I loved it. Everything in it. The art in this is so different than the first 3. I mean, as I've already said in this podcast, the art is different in every single one, but this one, even in the setting, because they're not at that. Roxy leaves the house. She goes to the gym. And the cameras follow. So it's a completely different aesthetic and a completely different location. And that's what I love about it so much. I got to give it a 5. Aimee?
I'm good with that. Yep, absolutely.
Nicole?
What do you think? My favorite character. This is, out of all the issues, this one literally made me cry. So, yeah, 5 for sure. I mean, it was so great. I mean, you just feel for her. Her whole life has been full of tragedy. And the only person she had was her dad. I mean, she didn't have any friends at school. Her aunt didn't even care for her. And so when she finally found her place, oh, it's so awesome.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So the final issue is all about Jeddah.
Now, this one's somewhere I wasn't expecting.
Where did it go that you didn't expect?
Well, I mean, come on. We're not going to spoil it so far. I mean, but, because you have your idea of what this character was like if you watch the 80s show, you're just like, oh, okay, interesting.
So Jeddah, basically, we open up with click, click, flash, flash, which I wish that said click, click, clash.
I thought of that too.
And you know what, folks? Before we even start this, we're going to take another quick commercial break because it's time for Click, Click, Clash. We'll be back after this.
And it comes in focus, click, and the world takes notice, click, and in a flash, you're the latest fashion, an overnight smash. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna step aside. Flash, look out, we're coming through. Better run somewhere and hide. You better hide. Click, and it's all so thrilling. Click, and you've got top billing. Click, and there you are. You're the new sensation, a media star. Crash, we're gonna pick a fight for the kick of some of us. Crash, yes, you'll regret the day if you got in our way. Baby, you don't wanna clash with us. Click, it can happen just like click. Crash, we're really on our way now. Click, any moment we will click. Crash, we can talk any day now. Click, crash, click, it can happen just like click. Crash, we're really on our way now. Click, any moment we will click. Crash, we can talk any day now. Click, crash, click, crash.
So there you go, folks. The last commercial break, well, maybe not the last one, but the next commercial break comes to a close here on the Misfits, episode 146 of the Pull Bag. We continue on with Jeddah's story. Stormer, what do you have to say about Jeddah's confession? Did you know? No comment. What do you think of being betrayed by your band? Wait, what's happening? Huh?
Yeah, half of them don't know what the news is.
Yeah. Flash, click, flash. Wow, that's wrong. Where's Barry Allen when you really need him?
I like
Ask me-
Roxy's. She
Yeah,
says, ask me again and I'll break your arm. Yeah.
Pizzazz, Jeddah has been revealed as a total fraud. What else is your band hiding? I'll show you what I've been hiding. It's inside your... And that's enough.
That's enough of that.
Yeah. So you were saying, actually, I wasn't. Well, you said you were going to say, yeah, all right, all right. But if I do this, Lisa, you have to swear, both of you, that you'll leave Roxy alone, give her a bit of space, and delete that bollocks you filmed today. In fact, give me that memory card, Ellen. They look at her like she's crazy. Ellen, what should we do? You're asking me? I didn't even know she knew our names. I'm terrified. I'm just a PA. I'm not a producer. You nitwits, I know I can. You know what? You nitwits know I can hear you, right? Just do it. This better be good, Jetta. Oh, you're gonna love it. It's short, sweet, and scandalous.
I just love the fact that she is throwing everything under the bus for her to save her friend.
Save her friend, yeah.
Oh, I love it. I mean, I mean, she's giving up a lot here.
Yep. So for starters, my birth name isn't Sheila Burns. It was originally Prudence. For seconds, did she just lose her accent?
Yep.
I am not British. I was born in the good old US of A. In the South, no less. It's all a con, mate. One giant scam. How's that for a bloody scoop?
Okay, that's about the time I stopped and went, cool. I was like, I like it.
I know. I was really shocked. I'm like, what else has she been hiding? What else has this girl been doing? Because she's pulled this off for quite the time now. You know?
Yeah.
Life, essentially, all her life, she's pulled this off.
And I can see why this would be completely scandalous. I mean, you come across as that you're Britain, that you know that you have that accent, is like, so the assumption is that you're from there, and there's an exotic flair to that, and now you're basically throwing it under the bus. But she'll continue to do it. But still, I was just like, I like that though. I was like, so what? Okay, I like that. But you know what? Some people won't be okay with that. I'm like, going, yeah, well, like they said, she's lying. Yeah. I guess I could see how some people would be upset about that.
Especially Pizzazz. Where is she?
Yeah.
Sorry. Pizzazz went a little Batman right there.
Yeah. She's by the pool. Wait, is the film crew there?
Yeah. No, thank God. Just meeting us at the soundstage today. Good. That gives me plenty of time to murder her off camera.
I love it.
Jetta!
And the seven hells is this crap? Oh, so I guess that beastly episode aired. You guessed that episode aired. What? So you're not British. Your name's not Sheila Burns. It depends on your definitions of those words. You're still talking with a British accent. Of course I am. This makes no sense. And she goes on to say, you want me to explain it for you, Pizzazz? I will. As far as I'm concerned, I'm Sheila Burns, a.k.a. Jetta. As far as I'm concerned, I'm British, and the only concern that matters is mine. But if you want to get a literal about things, here's how it happened.
And by this time, the other audience, band members have joined to hear about this. So
the only one that's not pictured is Roxy. I assume she's there.
Yeah, she's by the pool. If you go right up just a little bit, like 3 or 4 panels
I
back.
know. Yeah, I know she is. I know Roxy's sitting on the pool eating a damn bagel again. I understand Roxy's there. I'm saying when Jetta in the panel where Jetta says the whole thing of, you know, you want to get literal about things, here's how it happened, it's only because Roxy's still sitting by the pool in this panel.
Yeah.
It's only Jetta, Pizzazz, Stormer, and Blaze. It's not, Clash isn't even there. It's just the band members.
Yeah.
You know, we go somewhere outside of Savannah, Georgia, Jetta, age 3.
Oh my gosh, she's absolutely adorable.
I know.
Oh, so adorable.
Yeah. And Jetta's first memory was her mother's voice, and she was a singer, and Jetta liked to lick the the mixer.
What child
Who
doesn't?
doesn't, man?
No,
I still
what
do.
child
I still
doesn't?
do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. So Jeddah, has her mom and everything else, and then Jeddah doesn't. Age 7.5, she, you know, her mom passes, and she hasn't listened to Joan since. And she says, I'd always thought she was all like the sun, my mom. Surprising nobody, I was like a genius even then. Everyone grieved differently, but it was very much like the son had gone out in the world. My father didn't so much grieve as just shrivel up and almost die. Yeah. Actually, dying might have been better for him in retrospect. I don't think he was ever happy again. Oh, God.
I mean, this
So-
is, again, heartbreaking. My gosh. And I think this is probably why her and Roxy got along so good. They
Oh,
had something
absolutely.
related.
Yeah, both
They
of them lost
support each
parents.
other.
Yeah, both of them lost parents. They know what it's like to be there. Yeah.
And Jada goes on to say at first she thought she was running away, but she found out she was kind of, running to something that she ran to herself. She found herself. And that's how, she got in the band, and that's how Stormer and Pizzazz and Roxy found her. And at the end of the, it's the flashback end, she says, but a me with a little bits of her, so I couldn't ever forget. Full circle or whatever. My dad died that year. Nobody at the funeral even recognized me, and that felt right. It wasn't that I didn't care. It was just that it proved to me that I had truly changed. I had moved on to something else. I knew for certain I never had to look back again. And she's exactly who she wants to be. Yep. So
I love how she created the person that she wanted to be, and she left all that tragedy behind. I wish I could do that for myself. Jeez, that'd be awesome.
The thing is that
But she's not going to forget it. She's not going to forget it. But
Jeddah, what she does with her life is almost what the whole band, in a sense, has done. Is that they've created themselves. They've come from tragedy. Like every single one of them. If you wanted to end on somebody that would
bring it all back around.
bring it all back around full circle, because that's Jeddah's mantra. Is that she created herself. She created her own life. She created her own name. And some people would say, well, you falsified. It's like, well, not really, because from her point of view, she literally named herself when she knew herself. And that wasn't when she was young. That was when she was an adult.
Yeah.
So it's a different way of thinking. It's a different way of it's kind of flying in the face of what tradition is, because traditionally people are born and their parents name them. Well, there are a lot of people out there that hate their name and they go off to change their name. How is this any different? Because that's exactly what it is. She goes off to name herself. So it's just kind of like, if anything, when you look at, and this is the other part, is that if I was to see a segment about a band member like this, I would not feel betrayed. I would be like, oh, so that's the reason why you did that. Okay. I would completely accept that.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. And we get to that. So why out yourself if you didn't want to explain it all? I don't get it, Pizzazz says. That was because of me. Rox, you don't have to. No, I want to. They should know. I trust them. All right. And, she goes on to say, Jeddah told them to protect me, to draw their attention from what's going on with me. What's going on with you? I can't take any more surprises here. And she goes on to tell them that, she had a breakdown with the cameras and all that stuff, so Jeddah sort of fell on her sword or whatever, drew their attention to her to give me time to deal with my issues. And they all, Roxy, and they all hug her. The car will be here in an hour to take you to the soundstage. Are you... Oh, God, who died? Eric. Nobody. It's a good hug, mostly. Come join us. No way.
Too touchy-feely for me.
And we get to the Misfits show, and
I like what he says. It says, "This better not be the new Misfits. I can't handle tear-soaked hugging on a daily basis." Shut up, Eric. Shut up, Eric.
I love the look on Pizzazz's face there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, so awesome.
Yep. And Sophie actually tweets about the new song.
I saw that. I loved that. That was
Oh my
awesome.
God, new video, Misfits rule, Piz forever, not for the faint. And their new song is called Not for the Faint.
Mm-hmm.
And we even have Lindsay. Nice.
I love it.
I mean, it's Lindsay has been around. Obviously, she's been here various times, and we get a nice little interview with her. Misfits are back and better than ever. Not for the faint. The hashtag and all that, and so Pizzazz says, yes, we've actually got another big announcement. The single will be available to download and in stores everywhere next week, courtesy of our brand new label, Misfits Music.
Yay!
If anybody could start their own label, I absolutely believe that it would be her at this point. Just because they have done a great job building that up. And I really like the homage to the outfit as well.
Yeah. Almost all of them have homages to, except for Blake's.
Yeah.
But you look at Jetta, you look at all four of them, Pizzazz, Jetta, Stormer, and Roxy. Even Pizzazz has, almost a homage to the hair from the 80s as well, with the long hair. Jetta with the braideds in there, and it's absolutely awesome. And that's the end of this for now. And wow, this was awesome. This final issue was by far the best of the series, but all five of them are great.
I disagree with you. I still like the Roxy one the best.
I'm saying story-wise. I'm not saying because of the origin stories that this is the best. I'm saying because of the way that the whole series, the current story of where they are, doing the filming, doing the TV show, doing the announcements, doing, coming back from all of the origin story stuff and doing the new song Not for the Faint and whatever else. Just that's why I would say that this one is the best. But yeah. What are we going to give issue 5, Nicole?
I feel really bad, but I'm not kidding. I feel like me as a reviewer not being that critical. I don't know. I'm giving it a 5 because it really was good. It was really good. Again, it got you the feels, and it's got. I mean, to do what she did for her friend was amazing, And the thing is that even though she was outed, she outed herself. She still went back to the person that she wanted to be. Mm-hmm. And I liked it. I like that.
Absolutely. Aimee, what about you?
Amen to that. I give it a 5 too. It's a solid. I mean, the whole 5 issues was just okay. So they go from being kicked out to turning it around, and now they have their own, music label after this. I can't wait to hear how that happened. But if
yeah.
But I'm really, This was a good one. In fact, I'd be like, hey. Do we have to read it in order? Can I just hand this out to people and say, here, read this, you will love it, and you will be totally reading the rest of the series after that. Can I do that?
I think that's. I don't see why you have to read it in order.
I guess I don't know. I'm all about order of continuity.
But I mean, again, they're all individual stories, so you really don't need to.
Yeah, no, they are, and that's fine. I'm saying that
No, I mean seriously, I will buy the trade and just give the trade out and say, hey, if you're not paying attention to Jem and the Holograms comic,
pay attention to this.
Pay attention to this. Read this, and then tell me that it's not for it's not for today. That you can't do a reboot of this. It's like, please read these 5 issues.
Mm-hmm. Comic, yes. Movie, no.
That's because they strayed too far from the source material.
Obviously.
Yeah.
The only really cool thing out of that entire movie, and we've already talked about this plenty of times here on the Pullbag on Showtime Synergy, but coolest thing was Christy showing up as Lindsay Pierce. So that's going to do it for us. 5s all around on the final issue of the Misfits story for issue number 5. I'm going to give the whole series a 5 overall as well. Kelly is by far doing some of her best writing here with the stories. And as I've already said, given so much character depth, development, and backstory and all of that to each of these characters, they're not just passed over characters at all. Not that they could be, not that they would have been, but, sometimes if it was in a different medium, maybe, it wouldn't have been this in-depth and this good of a story. Yeah, any other final thoughts, ladies?
I'm glad that they made these characters like characters that I can empathize with, because as like I said, getting back to the original show, it took me a long time before I actually really empathized with those characters. And you were like, we're already through a season and a half, almost 2 seasons, before I actually really kind of got a little bit of empathy for them. Now, I just feel like these guys are more real and more authentic than I think I've ever seen them before. And I am a Misfit fan. You
can't even talk.
I'm a Misfit fan because of this. And like I said, like I told you before, I liked the series. I really liked the series before this. But after I read this, I closed it and said, I love this series now. I love it. And it has earned so much just because of these 5 issues. So, yep, you got me, Kelly. I love it.
Nicole, final thoughts?
It was nearly perfect. I'm not kidding. That between the writing and the art and so many different emotions. And like Aimee said, you get to know these characters. You want to be a part of their group now. You've gone through their journey. Most of the time, when you meet someone, you don't get to find out their true self. And this is what this story came out. I love it. Good stuff.
Absolutely. Coming up next week, we've got episode 147, the JEM Annual 2017, and then the final story arc of the series, issues 24 to 26, truly outrageous. Where can the people find you online, Aimee?
You can find me on Twitter at LadyWreck.
Nicole?
Google BeatlesDiva. That's Beatles like the band, not the bug, and you'll find me.
I am at TFU and Mike on Twitter. You can follow the Pullbag on Twitter. It's at the Pullbag. Also follow at Geekcast Radio. Visit the website, geekcastradio.com. Tune in next time, and we will make our Great Escape into Comics and give you guys some more JEM coverage. We're getting the hell out of here.
Woohoo!
Aloha!
DeCian, the superhero webcomic. DeCian's got superhero antics and sexy girls. For action, comedy, mayhem, and more, read it now at DeCian.com. DASIEN.com.
tropical breezes. We got 7 tropical diseases. We're misfits in Hawaii, sleeping in Hawaiian huts. We're misfits in Hawaii, turning into Hawaiian nuts. We're misfits in Hawaii. We're misfits in Hawaii. We're misfits, misfits in Hawaii.
No misfits in Hawaii. But folks, we are here. The Misfits 5-issue miniseries is over. Have to apologize to Blaze because Jem forgot to mention Blaze in the beginning of the podcast when she was listing off the Misfits in this story arc. We also have to make a correction. LadyWreck is joining me. BeatlesDiva, I don't know what Roxy's doing. She's off eating a bagel, or I don't know where she went. It's after midnight.
She's definitely shopping for bagels.
Yeah, English muffins are better.
Bagels. Bacon and cream cheese. Woo-hoo.
English muffins and peanut butter. Woo!
Right, now we're going to get the hate mail. What? You're ruining English muffins with peanut butter?
Could be worse. It could be Nutella. Anyway, we are here because...
now we get the hate from that side of the country.
We screwed up, folks. I screwed up.
It's not Miss Graham. It's Mad Mardigan.
Yes.
Infinitely more awesome, to be honest.
Well, I think the reason why I kept confusing that there are 2 cats in the IDW Publishing Gem and the Holograms comic series.
There's one cat. There's just one in somebody's
dream. Yeah, it's in the dream. But in the 2015 annual, the Truly Outrageous annual, the first annual that they did back in 2015, we had Gem.
It was all her in her brain.
Yeah, it was inside Kimber's brain. Well, they did a tribute to Muppet Babies, so they did Gem Babies. So it was like a Muppet Babies type thing. And in that, Gem and the Holograms and the Misfits come together and they adopt a kitten and they end up naming her Miss Graham. And apparently that's not the name of Pizzazz's cat because...
And that's the one that got stuck in one of our brains, right?
Yes. Yeah, the Miss Graham is what got stuck in our brain. And Pizzazz's cat, who debuted in Dark Gem Part 1, Issue 11 of Gem and the Holograms from IDW Publishing, Kelly Thompson, Sophie Campbell, all that good stuff, is named Mad Mardigan. So, we're sorry. We can't be blamed for crap that happens after midnight.
After midnight, exactly.
So, we hope it...
It's all good.
Mm-hmm.
And it's important to make sure that you get the cat's name right. Because, gosh darn it, it's an awesome name. Mad Mardigan. Come on.
Yep. There you go. And so that's the Misfits arc. What? Who's Savages?
We're Savages.
Oh.
We messed up the name, man.
What's in a name anyway?
It's an awesome name. In fact,
yes.
If I ever have a cat, I'm going to name it Mad Mardigan just because. That's awesome.
Okay. So coming up next. No.
Sorry. Oh, coming up next.
We've got episode 147, which is the 2017 annual, along with Truly Outrageous. So stay truly outrageous, and we will catch you next time here inside the Pull Bag, only on JEM JAMMIN July.
This is the place where we belong. Up at the top, riding on a song. You ought to see the view from here. It's fabulous. It's our way. You ought to see how things are here. When you are up in the stratosphere, you ought to hear how the people cheer when you are fabulous. Like us. We feel right at home. Looking down on those below, all you little people with your dreams so small. We are totally above it all. You ought to see how things are here. You ought
You've been listening to JEM Jammin July here inside the Pull Bag. We hope you enjoy hearing Mike, Aimee, and Nicole give you their thoughts on IDW's JEM comics. Show's over, Synergy.